Hey, have you thought about flipping houses for a living? Like you watch the shows on HGTV, you might even be browsing Zillow, looking at the foreclosure listings and thinking to yourself, I think I can actually do this. Or you might be in the boat that you're currently flipping houses, doing a couple properties a year, and you want to pursue it full time. Now, if that's the case, stay tuned because over the course of this video, I am going to show you exactly how to run a full-time flipping operation and how much you can expect to make. I'm going to go over the average profits. I'm going to go over the average expenses so you can see, is it worth your time to pursue it full-time or should you stick with your W-2 job? Now, before I get into it, if you could please smash the subscribe button down below and hit the like button. It helps tremendously. But my name is Carter Crowley. I'm a 25-year-old real estate entrepreneur living here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And over the last 3 years, we've done 80 plus purchase, wholesales, flips. And on the residential real estate agent side of things, I've sold tens of millions of dollars worth of real estate to clients. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty content that you are here to watch and that you're waiting for, let's get into the average annual profit or salary that you can expect to make as a house flipper. And the first thing that we need to do is figure out what is the average price point of a house in your marketplace. Now, how do we do this? Well, let's take a look at my computer and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Into how to find the average price point of a property in your area, all you need to do is go to Google, then you're going to type in average house price, Appleton, Wisconsin, or whatever marketplace that you're in. And there's going to be a bunch of search results that show up. As you can see here, I just recently clicked on this. But let's go to this example. Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, whatever source you choose, they're all going to be fairly reasonable. But let's look at this. So it's showing the average price point is $215,000 as of the time of this recording. Now in the last 1 year, it's went up 15%. So what is 15% of $215,000? I'm going to pull up my handy dandy calculator really quick. 215,000 times 0.15. So it's went up $32,000. So obviously 15%, a 15% increase in value or appreciation is not normal. So what I would typically say in this situation, again, depending upon your marketplace, but 215 minus say 30,000, let's shoot for properties right around 185,000 median price point, and we're going to use that 185,000 in our next example, so stay tuned. So now we just figured out the average price point or the average price point calculation for your specific neighborhood or your community. Now what do you do next? Well, for flipping houses, you need funds in order to flip the houses. You can do it with $0 out of pocket, but that money comes from somewhere. So whether it's from a hard money lender, a private money lender, from your home equity line, from retirement, you get to decide where you'll be able to access those funds. And if you don't have funds initially, please do not worry because it just puts you in a position that you either need to partner with someone who has the funding, or the second option would be you can start and begin by wholesaling real estate, which is again a $0 down concept. I've made more videos on it. Click on the channel, subscribe, and you'll be able to check those out. But now, once you have the funds secured or an idea on where you're getting the funds, we'll just say in this example, you're borrowing it from a friend or family member for 12% interest and 2 points up front, and they're gonna borrow you the $180,000 or whatever dollar amount you need. Now, what do you do with that, or what's the next step in the process? So what we do is take that average price point, the 185,000 in my marketplace, it might be 200 or 250,000 in yours, whatever it is, and you're going to multiply that by typically 15 to 20%, and that gives you a good rule of thumb of what you should shoot for as an average flip profit. Now, where did I get the 15 or 20% from? In our experience, it's extremely important to at least put a 15 to 20% buffer in there or a profit margin buffer so that if in case any issues arise during the rehab process, and depending upon if it's old property or new property, this will determine how much over you might go versus how much under you might go. But generally speaking, rehabs always go over budget unless you're rock solid with your numbers. Now, we shoot for the 15 to 20% profit margin. So on a $185,000 house, that puts us right around $27,000 on our rehab projects. And we choose, in our business at least, not to take on the extremely large rehabs because they take too much time. And we're better off just wholesaling those properties out for 5 to 10 grand, a quick profit, than spending months and months working on those properties and making whatever 30 or 40,000. The profit per month is significantly less versus us wholesaling the property and making an additional one, but we'll get onto that in a later video. So the reason why we shoot for 15 to 20% is because that gives us the working capital we need to validate the risk associated with flipping property. And now what is the risk? Well, we're buying them as is. In most cases, we are walking through them so we can have a rough idea there, but we're buying them without contractor bids, and there's no loopholes in our contracts, at least, that allow us to back out unless we have that prior discussion with the homeowner, unless we're putting it under an option contract or wholesaling or whatever it might be. So when we provide an offer, it is a rock solid offer that no one can compete against because we are the end buyers. We're looking at purchasing the property. And because of that, we want to at least make 15 to 20% on our money or our investors' money and make it a win-win for everyone involved. Now, after you have an idea of what 15 to 20% of the average price point in your marketplace is, now you have an idea on how much per project you can expect to make. But the other thing that most people don't realize with flip properties is how many projects can you successfully manage at one given time. Now, if you have multiple people, of course, you can take on multiple projects and do more than just one person can by themselves. But you have to ask yourself, are you going to be doing a bunch of work initially? Or are you going to hire everything out to contractors? Do you have these skills, trades that you need to get in touch with as soon as you close on the flip to get them on the job and working? Or will it be a delay of months and months of time before you get those people on site? These are all the things with flip properties that no one really realizes, no one questions when they are watching the TV shows, just because it's not talked about. It's not talked about of what is your actual burn rate of capital when you're paying contractors, when you're paying for your marketing, when you're paying for carpeting, flooring, fixtures, whatever it is. How much capital are you actually burning through on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis when you're working on your flip properties? And you need to make sure when you're operating a business, you have those funds set aside. So going off of the how many projects can you handle at one time, let's just say for example purposes, you're going to be doing cosmetic rehabs. You're going to be very select because you'll be marketing for these deals if you're doing it full time. But you're going to be doing cosmetic rehabs and you can afford to do, we'll say 10 of those a year just to be conservative. So if that was our case, we can do 10 projects a year. Our average price point or our average profit margin is right around $27,000. We'll just say some properties are more, some properties are less. So at the end of the year, we have a gross income of $270,000. We did 10 projects times the $27,000 in profit. We did a gross profit of $270,000. Now, after we calculated the gross profit, what all goes into that number? More importantly, what is subtracted off that number to figure out what your actual net profit is at the end of the day? Well, first things first, like I had mentioned just before, you're going to be doing marketing to find these deals. And how much does that cost in your marketplace? I always say our average spend per deal, depending upon the marketing source, of course, whether it's cold calling, direct mail, PPC, SEO, these are all determining factors, and I make more videos on them, so check out those videos. But those, depending upon your marketing source, will depend on your cost per deal. And my thought is, if you're spending or you're profiting 4 times your cost to get a deal, then that's a pretty good business model, and you can survive on that. So say, for example, you spend $5,000 to make $20,000. You can roughly guesstimate how much you'll spend on a yearly basis to acquire those deals. So for example purposes, and I'll put a breakdown on the screen right next to me, but we'll say that to do 10 deals in a year, you're spending $5,000 per deal. So that's $50,000 total in marketing cost. Now, your marketing costs might fluctuate, but that's $50,000 a year in marketing. So now you have marketing as a number one cost on your profit and loss statement. Subtract that from your gross profit margin. So 270 minus 50,000, that's $220,000. Okay, now we have $220,000. Let's subtract off insurance cost, payroll, burn rate, how much you're actively spending each and every single month to acquire these properties, to keep the business running and churning at a decent rate. Because if you do 10 flips in a year, you're going to have people going from job to job, contractors getting paid job to job every single week. And you need to make sure you have enough cash reserves set aside to do that. So I would guesstimate, in our business at least, we have a burn rate of roughly $55,000 per month. So what does that all encapsulate? That encapsulates payroll, marketing, insurance, workers' comp insurance. It encapsulates just a bunch of different stuff. All of our contractor bills, all of our project costs, the insurance premiums on the properties, the taxes. It encapsulates every one of those minor details. And if you don't calculate that, you're going to be living too large or living beyond your actual means, which I do not want you to do, especially starting off going full-time as a house flipper. So after you calculate all those, let's just say that at the end of the day, you netted, minus all your expenses, minus your gross profits, we'll say you netted $195,000 or $200,000. You had $70,000 in expenses, which is, it's probably going to be more than that, but let's just say you had $70,000 in expenses and you netted $200,000. Well, depending upon how your business is set up, it's going to determine how you're going to be taxed on that money, because flipping property is a bunch of short-term capital gains. You're getting 1099 on every single purchase and sale. So you need to record these transactions in QuickBooks or some accounting software. So when you go to your accountant at the end of the year, they can properly identify, okay, the business or yourself made such and such amount of money. You're going to have to pay 20, 30, 40% in taxes. Make sure you have that money set aside. And then your take-home pay is obviously whatever the amount is minus the taxes owed. So it's a very lucrative business, but again, you're paying a very large amount of taxes. And again, talk with your CPA. I would highly encourage that, because I'm not one. Don't take legal or financial advice from me. I'm just showing you and telling you my experience. But what I would recommend is just figuring everything out, jot it down on paper and with a pencil, and you can figure out, okay, I'm making $100,000 at my W-2 job. I can take on a bunch of risk and start flipping houses full time and make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. Or I might just stick to wholesaling properties, not have to worry about the significantly high burn rate of contractors and payroll and that sort of stuff. I just want to turn and burn deals, make 5 to 10 grand per deal, and move on from there. I hope you guys found this information valuable. I enjoyed making the video for you. And if you could, please smash the like and subscribe button down below. I'm bringing you more content every single week, and I'm breaking down the nuances of our business as we grow from 6 to 7 figures in net profit. And I hope you enjoy them. So please, again, smash the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. I wish you the ultimate success.